right to the most maximum potential. And I can tell you all very something that has happened in my life that is really prevalent and recent. You know what I'm saying? So I got married, right? And I told my wife, I was like, look, this is what's going on in my life. This is what I'm trying to attain. This is what I'm trying to build on. And this is something where I want to go to. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be the end goal result for my life, your life, and for our potential offspring. Like, I have the responsibility of your well-being to maintain you, to take care of the family, and so forth. And all these other responsibilities that fall under that category, right? And I told her this, look, I would do anything you ask me, right? Obviously, I'm not going to do everything that requires the most minimal thing. If I could get to it, I will, right? But I told her this. I said, hey, if you ask me to move a mountain and I have the capability to do so, I will. But something I will never do is give up on my dreams. Not ever, not once. And if that means sacrificing to being with you, that if that means sacrificing everything that we have together, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Because I know damn well in my heart, genuinely, I'm still going to take care of you and the offspring if we ever do have it. And you're going to be set. We're going to be set. You know what I'm saying? And I'm still going to work and continue the things that I want to do. I'm molding and crafting my purpose. I'm on my purpose. I'm on my grind to make these things happen. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, whoever's in my life. You know, that's principle. That's me standing for what I believe in. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to change. Yes, I'm going to evolve and change to become a better man. But for me to change something that I'm doing to do something else that is so that dumbs my personality, dumbs down the way that I carry myself and the way that I'm doing things. I told myself I'm gonna forbid doing that. That is a big no. Why? Because that's jeopardizing, as well as compromising my manhood, and that's something I can't do. Right, and I was really big on my manhood. Right, I'm going towards that, and I'm gonna be the role model for my family. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm the man. I'm taking care of this household. I'm holding it strong, right? And I do believe in tradition, right? This is gonna be a little bit off topic, but I'm gonna tell you this because I'm already speaking about it, right? I am the man of the household, right? So that means I have responsibilities. That means I have to go out and work and do all of these other things that fall into the category of a man and a husband, right? And what my wife does, she's gonna take care of the house. She's gonna make it a house, make it a home for me to come home to and be a wife and be a mother. That is her full-time occupation, job. You know what I'm saying? I really don't care if someone says, "Oh, he's misogynist," "Oh, he's a piece of shit," XYZ. I really don't care. Why? Because my woman is taken care of, right? She's in her femininity, right? Because a lot of females, to be honest with you, are operating in masculine energy on surviving. They're on survival mode. Why? Because they have to pay their own bills. They have to do so and so. They have a job. They have a lot of cortisol in their mind. They have a lot of cortisol in their body. A lot of stress. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not at the point to take care of my wife at the moment, but I'm leaning towards that, and I'm getting closer. Day by day, I'm getting closer. You know what I'm saying? And she sees that. She sees the work ethic. She sees the late hours. I'm up night, right? And I'm not doing it just for her, but I'm also doing it for my well-being, for my well-being of my offspring and the rest to come. You know what I'm saying? So once you find that beautifulness within another woman, and you tap into that masculine and she taps into that feminine energy, bro, you'll go so much farther, right? Because that is God's law, that is God's nature, right? And I'm not gonna get into other stuff because that's that's another story for later. You know, but back to the topic, to be really honest with you, is standing for what you believe in and following that and make the best at what you can possibly do with that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna tell you another thing. God made me to be the best at whatever realm I choose to go in with. Why? Because He tells me to be the best representation of a worshiper and a follower of God, right? Because to be honest with you, it's not even me. I'm just a vessel, right? He's moving me. He's telling me what to say, telling me what to do. He's guiding me. Why? Because I have my trust, full faith in Him. You know what I'm saying? So, and such, right? Once you do these things and once you follow that, I'm not saying to do it, but as far as me, right? That is what I'm doing. That is the passion. That is the creation. That is follow. That is the fellowship of God. You know what I'm saying? So here's another thing, right? It doesn't matter what you do. It matters how you do it, right? Because one thing determines how you do everything. You know what I'm saying? So having that sharpness and agility to focus on one thing at a time is really important, because a lot of people decide to read so many books, do XYZ, right? And that's fine. But that's gonna take you out of your path, right? You don't need to be like taking on so much ideas. You don't need to be doing all of this. You need to focus on one thing at a time, right? Because a lot of people put on the schedules that they're busy, but the reality of they're busy, are they doing deep focused work on their structured work? For example, I'm working on a company that I'm building from scratch, right? That's gonna deal with leather and so much other dope shit. And I don't want to get too much in specific, but what it is what I'm doing is I block out an hour to 3 hours on deep focus work, and I focus strictly on that. I don't need to be reading a podcast. I don't need to be hearing to a podcast or reading a book at the same time, right? Because that is a distraction. And at the same time, followed by that, it goes into something that levitates gravitates into something that is similar to the work but not on the same basis. For example, working on the catering company, working on a different thing, right? So that is the thing, working on things that are actually going to produce a high ROI, because I don't need to be doing all these extra things. Those things will come. For example, yes, reading one book a week is amazing, right? But you don't need to be using your phone to be on social media and scrolling, because that's a waste of time. That is instant gratification for you to feel temporary goodness or temporary good about yourself, right? Your mind tricks you that you just did something, you accomplished something for learning something so small. But that thing that you learn goes away, comes into 1 year and then leaves, right? That's the whole problem with this social media and this new age technology, because it is used to manipulate and is also used to distract people, right? Yes, it has its advantages and it has its cons as well. But the way that I use it to produce. I'm not a consumer anymore. I used to be a consumer. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yes, I would spend a lot of time on my phone scrolling, wasting a lot of fucking time, right? And I see to this day people are literally pushing 4 to 6 hours on their phone, on social media, on all these apps. And that's fine if you're a producer, but if you're a consumer, that's damn near a part-time job and you're earning nothing. You're wasting time. Time is a valuable asset. You know what I'm saying? That is the biggest asset that you never gain back. Yes, you could get sick, you could get healthy, you could lose money and regain money. You know what I'm saying? And the list goes on. But time never comes back. For me, excuse me, I'm not gonna talk about myself. I'm gonna talk about other people's experiences, right? Because I met with people who are 40 and in their 60s, wishing they were in their 20s, making sure that they were solid. So at their age of 40s and 60s, they won't be working as much. You know what I'm saying? And as well as them taking the time to take care of themselves in their 20s, so that way in their 30s and 40s, they won't be having joint problem, back problem. You know, they won't having such medical conditions. Why? Because they didn't take care of themselves. They didn't plan for the future, right? As far as the phone, right? It's addictive. That's an addiction, right? It's tied into your neuroplasticity, right? What it is that you feed into yourself, right? It's what you consume and that's what you become, right? You gotta use your mind to mold it differently and to shape it differently, to learn new habits, right? Because if you're vibrating at a low frequency, the worst thing you could do is attach yourself or attract or do bad habits. That is the worst thing you could do, because that is a cycle that keeps repeating itself, right? I can name a few, right? And sure, these conversations could be uncomfortable for some people who are not ready for this conversation. And I myself have already came to acknowledge these things, right? But I could give you an example, right? You go to the bathroom and you're on your phone scrolling. You add a more additional time for you to be there. You don't need to do that. You need to go to the bathroom, clean yourself, and that's it, right? And for some young men, I'm not gonna add more to this little story that I want to share with you all. But to be honest with you all, there are young men in their 20s, 18, 17. The list goes on, maybe in their late 20s, that in the middle of the day, they don't have nothing going for themselves, that they go to the room and they lay down, right, or whatever, and because they build a bad habit, they go scroll on the site, right, they go on Corn to go see, right, to go take a peep, and then after that, they end up relapsing, you know what I'm saying? So building good habits and habit stacking, you know what I'm saying? Operate in a different mindset. Right now, to be honest with you, I'm gonna give you all a little piece of advice. Right now, I'm not operating in the sense of I'm not thinking for myself. I'm thinking for my family and thinking for others. And to be really honest with you, that has opened so many doors for me. For example, not spending money on myself, you know, working late hours, right? Providing experiences for my family. You know, I'm not thinking for myself. I'm not being selfish, right? Because the moment you start to sleep excessive hours, oh, I'm tired, I want to go to sleep, let me sleep a little bit more hours, you're being selfish, right? You're being selfish to your family, to your bloodline, to the ancestors who fought and wasted, not wasted, but contributed to so many tears and blood and sweat and turmoils for you to be where you at right now. You know what I'm saying? It's selfish to take days off. It's selfish to take those vacations. Yes, sometimes you want to reward yourself to do that, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you do that excessively, that is a disrespect. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, I could give you something right now, right here, right? So I bought this house. I purchased this house, you know, with the help of my mother. And at the time, the reason why I did that is so that we could all live under one household, right? For me to take on the responsibility of paying off the mortgage and, you know, other things and in additions that go with his house, for my family to be in a better position, right? And that goes for me to work longer hours, find other ways of income, and to provide for my family, right? Because I'm going to give you all a quick story, right? Why I did this. And the reason for it is because in the past, middle school, we used to live in one room bedroom apartment. You know what I'm saying? We had other people living with us. I used to sleep on the floor with cockroaches. You know what I'm saying? I would hate the feeling of a little insect crawling on me. You know what I'm saying? And I was exposed to that poverty at a young age. That made me want to do more. Made me want to expand my knowledge, right? To multiply my thinking, multiply the way that I do things. You know, become a better man and a better and sophisticated individual. Because I know what that feels like. And it's a shitty fucking feeling and a shitty position to be in life. You know, I remember eating canned food. I remember eating ramen. I remember all of that. I do remember that. You know, and it's kind of similar of being in that situation at the moment, but it's not as worse. You know, yes, I'm going through a few adversities. Yes, God has put me in a position of betterment, but also a trial and tribulation. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day is what the fuck are you going to do about it? You know, what are you going to do to change the lifestyle, to change the environment that you're in? You know, what are you going to do to tap into, you know, different atmospheres and different teachings and different way of life, a different code of conduct? How far are you willing to sacrifice to do that? You know what I mean? And I could tell you, I've been through a lot. You know, I wouldn't be this person speaking to you with this knowledge, with this tonality, with the way that I express myself. You know, I wouldn't be this person if I didn't go through that, if I didn't pick up a book, if I didn't ask the questions, you know. If I didn't do none of that, I wouldn't be in front of this camera telling you this, right? And as far as that poverty line, like it sucks, you know, it sucks not having the parents or not having the money to do their things, right? Going out to eat without looking at the price, without going to the shopping mall, whatever it is you do, with looking at your bank account. Oh, is it gonna hurt? Pockets are hurting, you know what I'm saying? And your family telling you, oh, you know what? Not right now, we can't do that. You know what I mean? So I believe that it's my responsibility to give the best human experience to those who I love and those who are close to me. Because it's my responsibility as God's given right to do so. You know what I'm saying? God is the greatest.